story. I have to tell a little bit of a story before I go and show you what I found. Here, because of the Bigfoot activity that goes on here, my niece and my sister, they kind of spooked. Here, they get to their trailers before dark. I'm with my niece that's in the motorhome. I'm walking her home to her trailer every night. Okay, 3 nights ago, my niece in the motorhome, right? I'm walking her home. We get to this point. With her flashlight, she spots a rose. While she's taking the picture of the rose, I hear something. So she handed me the flashlight. I shone right where you're looking right now. And I shine. I quickly put my flashlight down because the eyes were probably about 8 feet in the air, like up in the tree. So she's like, "What did you see?" And I had to tell her the truth. I said, "I seen eyes shining in the bush." She said, "Oh, okay, good night." Yesterday I come into the north pasture here to find a certain willow that we use in the teepee. It's to hang whether you have a cooking pot or a soup pot or a tea kettle or something. You use it to hang over the fire. And this is where I was. I come into the north pasture to find this willow. And it's also a place where I dump my grass clippings that I sweep up from our lawn, right? And I just heard something moving back in the trees. Maybe they're going to watch me. So I come back here, and I kept hearing the sound over in this area. I was further back. And I was coming around, and I was weaving it in out of the trees, right, trying to find this willow, which I had found finally. And I keep hearing a sound over in this direction, so I'm drawn this way, right? I'm coming from the north, southwards, towards, if you can see them back there, the motorhome. We'll call it the little campground, right? And I come right onto the pile of grass clippings. I'm coming from the north and headed south to a sound. It sounded almost like clicking of teeth. And I come on to that, and you can see the big toe right in there. Toes. I'm going to try it at a different angle here for you. But what I got my hands on, there we go. What I'm going to be doing is laying plaster. We were able to pick up a 50-pound bag of plaster of Paris. So we have that on hand, and I've got it here. I'm going to mix it up, and we're going to drop it in that track. So I don't think I'm going to need a border. I think it'll just fit nicely in there. And I did bring some aerosol hairspray. I'm going to spray that down. I'll prevent things from sticking to the plaster, right? Hopefully it works. Let's do this. 2 powder to 1 water. So I'm hoping this consistency turns out. Aerosol hairspray. This is a new experience for me right now. I've never tried to cast footprint of any kind. I guess we'll see. What I'm worried about is, because that's in a grass clipping track, it's not like a solid, it's not a mud, right, or in soil, so I'm hoping there's not a whole lot of seepage. But no, we'll see. Well, you can definitely see the formation of the track now that you put that in there. That is pretty good. And they say 10 to 15, 20 minutes. So we will leave that. We'll let that settle and harden. It's a learning process, right? But like I said, I mean, how often do you get a track like that and able to cast it? Lots goes on in the North Pasture. It's always exciting in the North Pasture. And I think because Mom and them live closer to the trees, I'm on the other side of the property, and I'm in the open kind of, right? When my goat pens are around, and the barn's over there, and that's where I have the teepee set up on my side. I believe they come over here quite often just to watch, and I don't know, maybe it's entertainment for them. It's cover, right? There's a lot of cover over on this side, and out there it's in the open, and that's their way south of my house into the southern tree line where the mint patch. That's where the bigger forest is, right? The bigger bush, and don't have all the answers, but we're learning as we go. And this here, I always wanted to learn how to do that. We've seen tracks, we've had tracks here before, but never had the plaster of Paris, right? Get the mix it up, try it. You know, you learn from your mistakes. We have to. If it don't work the first time, try again, right? So 20 minutes seems to take forever. I actually went and got some more plaster and poured it before it dried. I need to do these things on my own. And I don't mean this in a rude way or in a rude manner, but what I was doing was getting my sister to get in the water. And I had gotten the plaster, the powder, measured out. And it's 2 to 1, right? That's what it says on the bag, that's what it says on the package. When I mixed that, it was a little bit runny. But we'll leave it alone. Hopefully it turns out. But what I had went home, 2 cups of powder and a cup of water and mixed up and there was a thicker consistency to it. So what I did was I poured it in with that before the first batch set, and just kind of mixed what I had in with it. So I don't think it'll be, it's going to harden. It's plaster of Paris, right? But it might just take a little bit longer because of the thin consistency. It should have been thicker. But I often involve, others. I'll get them involved and stuff like that, just so they're a part of it, right? We got it in there. I'll show you. See how this is looking. So it looks like it's setting pretty good. So I'm just going to leave that alone. And see you in a bit. We're going to pull it up and see how this worked. Wow. Yeah, it's still there. There's a bit of grass on here. That's okay. I'll get it off. Okay, so we got a bit of grass on here. That is amazing. Little piece broke off here. Okay. First cast. I will measure, and to me it's looking like the same one that we tracked on the west side of the property. This is on the north pasture. My nephew and myself were out there tracking one, and it looks like the same size. But we will measure it. If it's 15 long and 7.5 wide, it's the same one, right? So my sister and I were talking about doing a duplicate. I mean, you create like a sand bed or something, I guess, and then put this one in there, and then create another mold, right? I imagine, you know, a lot of people need to see the proof, I guess, the footprints, and here's a footprint, and it's a nice one actually. Well, we will get more, right? They're here, and I'm happy, I'm thankful for them for stepping in my grass pile, in my grass clippings. This is pretty amazing. Oh, screwed up. Okay. Anyway, there was quite a bit of grass on the bottom of that track, right? We come up with a cast molding idea. We're going to, the track is still there, right? So what I've done is I've laid cellophane in there, and I'm going to spray it with a little bit of oil, mineral oil, and then we're going to recast it and see if we can't get the track without all of the grass, right? Which is kind of interesting. So okay, so I've lined the track with cellophane. Now I put some mineral oil in here. It's an empty container I found in the house, and I'm just going to mist that where the track is, right? And then pour the mixture. Okay. See that? We did measure. It looks and it's the same width, same length as the one that we had tracked here before in the field west of the property here. So actually, it worked very well. It's the same. It's the same shape. You can see the only issue I have with it is there's wherever there was a little crease in the cellophane, in the plastic, right, the saran wrap, you get it in the plaster, right? But I mean, as you can see, it turned out pretty good. I was hoping I could have got more of the toe indentations and stuff, but I mean, we're in grass clipping pile, right? So it's not like them walking in mud or sand or something where you're going to get like, you could get dermal ridges and stuff like that, right? But if I was to use it again, that, you know, you would want to make sure that there's no creases or you kind of want to smoothen that cellophane out. The cellophane was still attached to it, and I thought, you know, and the reason why I used the oil was so that I was hoping that saran wrap would come right off, and it did though. As soon as I start pulling, it just come right off, right? There you go. We'll see you soon. Out there in the bush, in the trees. Am I hearing a horse? I'm hearing a horse. Hang on a minute. There she is. Now why? Oh, she's pretty. Oh, and look what she's got with her. Aww. Why are you guys on the road?